I think that's also part of like my foundation is like understanding the men that came before me. It gave me it gave me an idea of what to try to be like. You know what I mean? Because like when I hear stories about my grandfather and how amazing he was, it'd be like, man, this dude like larger than life, bro. You know what I mean? So I'd be like, damn, like that was my grandfather. So I understand what greatness is. And so now I strive to get somewhere close to an inclination of that version of greatness. And yeah, and that just a strong spiritual background. And then my mom, she wasn't like that at all. My dad grew up in the church. My mom didn't grow up in the church. But my mom has like a very supernatural story about how she fell in love with Christ, though. Like supernatural, crazy, over the top, sound fake. You know what I mean? But it, it just, her belief in God is so strong because her conviction becoming a Christian was so supernatural. All that is also in me too. You know what I mean? And so yeah, spirituality is a big part of my life, bro. It really, really is. Like, if it wasn't for my belief in God, I wouldn't be this person. I really, really wouldn't be. Like, I'm gonna give you an example. Like, when I was growing up in school, I was always in special classes, like always, always. Even up to the point that I graduated high school, like it had to be some type of special accommodation because I wasn't gonna graduate like everybody else did. And so, like, all through my school career, I'm always having like meetings with teachers and the principals, if you know anything like that, and they sit down and be like, this nigga needs medication. You know what I mean? He's a little slower than the rest of the kids. You know, and so in the physical world, that was the belief that I had for myself. But spiritually, my mom would always let me know, like, nah, but you're destined for greatness, though. You're gonna be a great man, though. You know what I mean? Like, you're not stupid. You're really smart. You're a beautiful person. You know what I mean? And it's like it was that man, because if I didn't have that, if she didn't give me that, I would have been completely washed away what they were telling about me. You know what I mean? And so this is a long-winded, super long-winded. You know what I mean? But I think all of these things really help paint the picture of like, okay, this is the foundation for Stephen Taylor. This is the foundation for Wolf. You know what I mean? Just if I don't know nothing else, I know these things. You know what I mean? And I just continue to build on these things, and then you get here.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. I ain't gonna lie. Damn, you pulled me in, shit. Bro. It's
I
funny.
mean, it's the truth, shit.
It's funny. I kind of wanted to touch base on something I saw on TikTok. I don't know. Now I'm doing this TikTok shit. I was on TikTok, and I seen a joke where basically like people who like who like collect crystals, stones, healing stones,
Yeah.
and they were like, Shorty was like, me telling the devil like what stones were supposed to protect me from him type shit. And then he just started laughing like, let me see again. Like, so like it's funny, and I actually want to touch. Actually, it's kind of cool how this is actually going to that conversation. Yo, have y'all seen like the identification of like people as they grow up and as to what religions they're like who like what they align with, like their labels.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, like now, you have your agnostics, like you have to see your atheists and shit.
Yeah.
Now there's like a third, not another, like I forgot the word, god damn it. But it's basically like they don't. It's weird. It's like a mix of like they believe in something, but they don't believe in nothing at all.
Oh.
But what I'm really trying to get at is like the rate or like the percentage of people who like still align with the religion is actually lessening. You know what I'm saying? As time has been going on, because of the fact that like some people, I don't know how y'all like if y'all split it or combine it. I believe spirituality and religion can coexist
Absolutely.
in the same plane, but some people are actually separating them entirely. So
Absolutely.
like,
Yeah.
you can be like my sister, like my older sister. She's like, we grew up in a Christian Catholic household, but like I follow Islam. You know what I'm saying? My older sister, you know what I'm saying? She's like, I'm just very spiritual.
Mm-hmm.
My second older sister, she's a middle child. She kind of stuck with the Christian Catholic, religion. So it's kind of like I got 3 kids, and just all 3 of them just have whole different views and whole totally different walks of life with it. So it's like I wanted to ask y'all, like, do y'all think the question I asked, like, do you think religion and spirituality coexist? And at the same time, what is spirituality to y'all? You know what I'm saying? What is spirituality defined with? What are the actions? What are the things you experience? What is the culmination of it? What makes up spirituality?
Great question.
Yeah, I mean, I think it definitely does coexist because like even when you look at like certain stories in the Bible, like although it's not like blatantly said, some of the I'm not gonna sit there and quote stories 'cause I don't really know
Yeah, for
all
sure.
of them, but
Yeah, for
like
sure.
some of the stories you can kind of tell like there's a spiritual aspect to it, not only just it being God, but like even with certain people, like you have like Samson with his hair,
Oh
you know,
man, great
certain things
story.
like that.
Great story.
You have even Jesus to be,
That's a
you know,
movie.
doing all the amazing things that he was doing that they
Mm-hmm.
describe. It's like those type of things. It's like how is it not related? Like why would it only be something that a higher power can do? And they also do say God created man. Like you know we were created from God in a way.
in his own image.
Yeah,
His own
yeah,
image.
exactly. So the thing is just like at least to me, I kind of see it in that way, and especially growing up, like I think it was in a Catholic or Baptist church. I don't know the difference of religions,
Yeah,
but
denominations and shit. Yeah.
yeah, but
Mhm.
basically grew up with that. But it's like even like as I was there, if anything, I feel like damn, I don't want to go political, but like I feel like where like sometimes the church kind of messes up, or at least the way I see it, is just like
Wait, no, yeah.
yeah,
So I could touch on that too.
yeah. That's the thing. It's like they kind of. It's funny. I saw a TikTok saying this how it just like you know kind of fucked up the black community, but it's like they kind of make it as if nothing like we can't do anything ourselves in a way, and they make it always just like you know it's just up to God, and it's like you know what, for people that do believe in that, that's cool. You know what I'm saying? I'm not like you know diminishing it, but I feel like you know there is things that you can take control of, you know, create it, do it yourself, and it's like even to say like when certain people, oh yeah, you're playing God, I'm like, I mean
Yeah.
even to do a drawing is playing God technically. Like
Yeah.
even little things like that, making
Science,
technology.
yeah.
Yeah.
Somewhere in the Bible it say, faith without works is dead.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So it's
So
like
Thank you. I was about to get to that.
yeah,
it don't make any sense.
I don't know the actual scripture, but it says something.
No.
It says that though.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly. Just want to touch on it. It's kind of like how I view religion and spirituality is kind of like I grew up where like even to this day my mom prays and she'd be like Nate, you know, if you just pray,
Mm-hmm.
you know, the Lord will answer you. And she knows like I follow Islam, but she's like, moms being moms and shit, and like so I be making jokes. I be like, God answer you today. I don't mean to be mean about it, but you know that's how I play. I be like, well, what God told you to buy that bag. You know what I'm saying? Like shit, like just little shit like that. But I'll be telling her like, I'm like, in my mind, she asked me one time like, why did I like switch? And I was like, bro, because like at a certain point, I felt like people like black people specifically because I'm only like know that culture within
Mm-hmm.
that type of religion. It's like I feel like only time I've ever seen people pray sometimes is when something bad happened, they need
Mhm.
something good to happen,
Mm-hmm.
or like something has to be given.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Or something was taken, and it's
Transactional.
yeah, and it's
Mhm.
like yo, bro, if
Transactional.
your religion with your faith should be like an everyday thing. Like I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't say I pray every day, but I pretty much will tell you I at least pray at least once a week, twice a week.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Depending on like the culmination of like what's happened. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe at the start of the week, at the end of the week. You know what I'm saying? Just for my homies, for like myself, whatever. But it's like it's never like yo, give me this, you know what I'm saying? I'll do this, you know what I'm saying? I will never let this happen again. If you I don't need I feel like religion shouldn't be transactional. That's why I kind of
Mm-hmm.
faded away from it. So that's why I asked, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah. And even so, I feel like prayer in a way is low key like a word of affirmation as you're saying it, you know, because you want that thing or whatever it is. But yeah.
I was gonna say even kind of similar to you, probably not to the same extent, but like I grew up in a church as well,
Mm-hmm.
junior choir, all that good stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You start to notice as you get older, and even myself, like the young people stray away from the church and it's never really because of the religion itself. It's like the organized religion, the people that's in the church.
Yeah, for sure.
And people talk about it all the time. It's like, oh, the elders, you see, they act this way.
Mm-hmm.
They end up like you said. You ever seen Greenleaf?
Mm-hmm.
So all that stuff.
My mom love that shit.
Exactly. All that crazy stuff, and I
Which is
remember
very real.
very
very
real,
real.
very real.
Very real. I was at service one time and man, it was Love and Hip Hop one day, bro. I'm telling you, a woman found out who her husband was cheating on her with, and it went platinum.
Mm.
Real.
But yeah, I mean, kind of like what you were saying before, how it's how organized religion, like as far as Christianity and church, has been detrimental to the black community. There was a guy on TikTok. He said this shit one time. He like reviews movies and he does a lot of Disney movies. So if you notice, Disney has this thing where like now they, even in recent years, they've been picking different cultures and they've been picking apart what's damaging to the culture. So if you go back to what was the last one? Where everybody was magic, or the siblings, the whole family was magic. Encanto.
With the black people? Was it got black?
Nah,
Different
No,
movies?
Encanto. That was the Encanto.
Yeah.
Like,
It was the Spanish one.
Oh
The
yeah,
Latin
word.
one.
I remember that one too, for sure.
Yeah, so the through line was like how in that culture, a lot of the elders, they don't listen to anyone that's younger, and like this it's different things as far as like putting pressure on the oldest siblings, and just it go down a list. And Disney was doing this thing where like they're picking apart and showing and letting people see, okay, these are the problems with my culture. Finally, someone's like putting it out there. So somebody asked, for all these cultures that Disney's been touching on, how come no one has done the black thing? And he said, because what's most damaging to the black culture and the black community has been the church. And I sat and I thought about it. I'm just like, you know what? He got a point. He has a point. We don't want to like speak on it. We don't want to admit it because there's certain. I mean, clearly you can't wait. But
Most damaging is that's heavy, man. That's heavy. I don't think I got the statistics to truly disagree with it. You know what I mean? But to say the most damaging, that's heavy, man.
one of the most.
One of the most, yeah. No,
You
for
could
sure.
argue hip hop and this other shit, but like
A whole lot of shit. A whole lot of
Yeah.
shit. A whole lot of shit. Yeah, I think. What was the question again? Just so I can get refreshed real quick.
what is okay? So what is the first part? The second half was basically, because I remember spirituality. What does it involve? Like, what is it to you? Like, what does it look like? What is it? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
we know what religion looks like. You know,
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But what is spirituality? You know what I mean? That
Yeah.
to you.
I think spirituality is the feeling. You know what I mean, for sure. Because faith is believing in something that you can't see, which is really it's the whole concept of God in the first place. You know what I mean? God doesn't necessarily show Himself in the physical, so that is spirituality. Like again, like when you are discerning like signs from what people nowadays say the universe. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, that was a sign, or like I've been praying for this. Like perfect example. Like before I came to New York, I wanted God's blessing before I came here. I didn't want to be anywhere that would not have me in the will of God. So I specifically asked God, like, I got a thing with balloons. You know what I mean? We'll talk about that another time. But like, I literally asked God, show me balloons. That's what I want to see. You know what I mean? And I started to see balloons in a supernatural, crazy fucking way. You know what I mean? Like crazy fucking way. I was like little moments where like I almost wasn't at a place, and then just some shit just went wrong, and then I get there finally super late, all wrong, and it's like balloons, whatever. You know what I mean? So I think that's spirituality. You know what I mean? Like being able to discern the messages from God, but I also think that religion, as extremely flawed as it is, extremely flawed. Listen, we could be here all day, but there are things in religion like the story of Samson that he just brought up, or the story of Peter. These things, they help you, they give religion structure. You know what I mean? Sometimes, spirituality structure. You know what I mean? Like sometimes spirituality, it flows a little too hard. You know what I mean? To the point where it's like you need structure to go somewhere. You know what I mean? Like you need something to keep you in line. You need to have a path to follow with the bricks. I wouldn't consider myself a religious person per se. You know what I mean? Like I'm definitely doing a whole lot of things that the Bible would tell you not to do. You know what I mean?
Same.
I am. But at the end of the day, though, like I understand like certain words and certain texts that give you a frame to reference, and that helps keep you in line. You know what I mean? Because that's the next part to spirituality, I think. The words that exist in the Bible. You know what I mean? That exists. Because I think reading scripture in general is religious. You know what I mean? That kind of, it's a part of spirituality, but it's also a step into the religion as well. But all in all, though, it's a scary thing. It's weird because I come from real church going people.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I don't see me going to church a lot in the future. I don't see it a lot, and that's weird for me to say because that's all I know. You know what I mean? But that aspect of religion, because there's a lot of things about the church that I don't necessarily agree with or care for that are a part of religion. But I think religion is good, though. I think it can be good, you know, but religion is being maintenance by people, though, who are designed to be imperfect, though. And some of them fall super imperfect. Some niggas do some shit that, like, matter of fact, put him down today. You know what I mean? Like, it's like that, you know? So that's how I feel about religion. I know it's not perfect, but I do see the use in it, though.
Shit, one of the biggest things, compassion.
Yeah.
That's like across the board.
Empathy.
Empathy. I'm just like, I'm pretty sure I would not be the person I am today if I didn't grow up in the church. Like, a lot of the values I have is literally just started from there.
It gets structured, like the story of Samson. Like, that's not said. Spirituality might not necessarily get you there. Like, the story of Samson is like, which is one of my favorite stories because he's a very
top 3.
Crazy.
he's a very powerful man. You know what I mean? Unfuckwittable, could not be defeated. You know what I mean? But then he allowed himself to become vulnerable to a woman
That wasn't his.
that wasn't his. And against his better judgment, he laid down with woman. She was the ops. She cut his hair off. She set him up. He was finished. Or the story of Peter, when Jesus is walking on the water, breaking the boundaries of what we consider to be reality. And Jesus telling Peter, step off the boat. Peter step off the boat. He not sinking. He not sinking. But then this nigga's on the boat, like, talking to him, distracting him from what he should be focused on. And he start listening to them more than he listening to Jesus. And he start to drown. That's a powerful message. You know what I mean? Whenever you're not focused on what's important, you start to, reality is only, perception is reality. You know what I mean? So you can do anything you think you can do. And it's only up until you allow outside forces that don't represent anything great. That's what hinders you and that's what stops you. These are things that you learn through religion. And I know